Hello and welcome to Outdoor Tiger. My name is Bernie Tiger and I'm your host of this channel. To give you some background and context of this, Outdoor Tiger was set up and designed for those who are 50 plus and are still seeking to have a thrill in life, to enjoy life to its fullest, to live with no regret, as they would say. That you're never too old to enjoy doing different things in your life, no matter where you are and what stage of life you're in. Now, that being said, at 50 plus, I can say that I'm not doing necessarily the things exactly that I would do when I was 16 years old, but I'm not far from it either. One of the things I'm sharing right now in regards to this channel is my new toy that I had picked up a couple of months ago, and that is a 2020 Polaris XP 1000 Premium ATV utility vehicle. Now I have to share, this thing is a beast, and I have not driven an ATV in a very long time. So I did take my time during the 25-hour break-in, and I went pretty moderate to slow and took it easy. And I'm certainly not looking to push the boundaries and do things that are insane. I'm not looking to put a snorkel on it and spend time underwater. I'm also not looking to take this airborne, traveling multiple feet through the air. I'm just looking to have fun, to get outdoors, because that's the context of my life. Is I love being outdoors. I want to enjoy the outdoor environment, whether it's hiking, biking, or of course right now riding an ATV. Being outdoors for me is a thrill, and it's second to none. Having any downtime, I enjoy the opportunity of camping, certainly going out in the water, boating, and now, as they say, riding an ATV. This particular ATV right now in the channel and the video you're watching is at Famous Reading Outdoor, and this is the St. Kierns track. And this is a little bit north of the St. Clair area, northwest that is. And if you're not familiar with Famous Reading Outdoors, I would strongly encourage you, give it a shot, look it up on the web. They have 650 plus miles of traveling trails for all ATVs, UTVs, etc. And they are just a pretty awesome place. So for $175 for an entire year, that's 365 days a year, I can go and have access to these trails that aren't too far from where I live. Generally my travel is about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. And to go out and spend an entire day and enjoying the woods in a world like this, it's second to none, in my opinion, of course. So, for those again who are 50 plus and are looking to get outdoors, my encouragement is please do so. Get out and ride. Get out and do something. You know, life is only going to pass us by one way or another. The sun is still going to rise tomorrow, whether we're here or not. So if that's the case, I want to make sure that if it's rising tomorrow and I'm here, I want to have a chance to get out there and see the world again. I want to be able to be outdoors and enjoy life. So the St. Kierns Trail, this is my 5th trip to Reading Outdoor, and I will have to say it's the first time at this particular trail. Most of the trail was pretty flat in the first part of it, where you can really kind of pick up some speed and drive pretty quickly, but there were some mud areas as well as a lot of woods that you can also travel into as well. They have some other areas that are also much more in the woods, and I'm going to explore that. One of them I believe is dark water. I'm going to be looking into that in the next couple of weeks. So one of the other opportunities also with this is that there are some trails that are from the state parks, the state forests of Pennsylvania. And I'm talking to you from Chester County, Pennsylvania. That those parks have multiple trails for ATV riders alone. So therefore you have the ability to having some fun, get out, maybe camp, and then jump on your bike and then go on out and enjoy the world. In the woods, that is. So, riding through this countryside was an absolute breathtaking and beautiful moment. It was a beautiful day in the mid-70s, so it wasn't too hot, perfect temperature, and funny enough, I see everyone who goes out and dressed up, and they have this pretty cool-looking garb, and many of them have, it looks like football uniforms almost, where they got a vest on and shoulder pads and so on. And I kind of get that if you're going to be a really aggressive rider and doing some crazy shit, excuse the French there. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to push it a little bit, but I'm not going airborne 30 feet in the air, and I'm certainly not trying to climb a grade that's 90 degrees. You know, I'm certainly going to have some fun, and I'll push myself a little bit, but I'm not interested in those kind of events, as we would say. So for me, putting on a pair of shorts and a cutoff t-shirt, you know, my helmet and my sunglasses, pack in a small little lunch and some beverages, and I'm good to go. And by the way, yeah, my beverages, they are bottled water. I don't do any alcoholic beverages while I'm behind an ATV or any other vehicle for that sense. So, for those also interested in the famous Reading Outdoors, as I said, you can go to their website and look throughout a lot of their different properties. They are through most of the anthracite of Pennsylvania, which means it's all coal country. Some of these are abandoned coal mines and areas that were used for the coal factors. People back in the day, who this is where they made their money, was using this all from coal mining itself. So beautiful areas, beautiful countryside, as I said, and just an incredible time to be able to get out and get outdoors. So once again, as I say, if you get an opportunity, there are some pretty incredible places in Pennsylvania where you can go riding. I'm also looking at some other areas in Maryland, as in addition to West Virginia and Kentucky, which isn't too far from where I'm at, and I've made some contact with a couple of people out there that actually do professional riding, as they would say. They have a YouTube channel, that one gentleman, his name is Chad, and he has Dirt Obsession, and he does a phenomenal job with his videos, and he was an inspiration for me when I picked up the Polaris when I was researching what kind of ATV I was going to get. So if you get a chance and you're out in the countryside, please get out there, get outdoors. If you have an opportunity and this is something you can do, and getting an ATV, or if you have one and haven't been out in a long time, man, I would encourage you strongly. Get out there and enjoy the outdoors, because this is really the sweetness of life, is being able to be outdoors. And for those who have heard that background noise, that happens to be one of my 3 dogs who decided that he was going to share on this video going forward. So again, Outdoor Tiger is developed solely for us that are 50 plus and are looking to really enjoy life, share some stories back and forth, share some experiences, and share some best practices and tips. I can tell you some of the tips I'll have coming up here in regards to mud flats and mud holes, meaning the deep puddles, to be cautious and guarded with. As I say, I'm not one who's going to have waders on and put a snorkel on my machine and try and get submerged like a submarine. It's not something that just appeals to me at all. Getting dirty and a bit muddy is fun, but being from head to toe covered and spending 2 weeks trying to clean yourself and your machine, it just doesn't totally appeal to me. But with that being said, when you do get muddy, it was pretty funny sharing with my wife the other day. When I got home from this particular ride, I was pretty filthy, and the machine itself was pretty dirty, and you'll see at the end of this video I'll have a couple of pictures of what it looked like when I was done. And it took some time to clean that thing off, because this clay and from the anthracite area getting stuck on the machine, it was not something that just washed off easily. And I'll have to say that I laughed at her, because I would say in many years past, when I'd watch people driving these kind of vehicles and coming back in their trailers, and they'd be filthy dirty, and the machines and trailers would be filthy, and I would think, like, what kind of fun is that? You go out and then you spend all this time to clean the machines up and your whole thing up, and you go back out and do it all over again. And I never really kind of got the sense of that until now, and now I understand. It's just the get to in life, not the have to. And if I look at life as a get to, man, I get to clean it when it gets dirty. And when it gets dirty, that means I'm out living and having fun. It's not just sitting in a garage somewhere with some nice, sparkly, shiny wax job on it, but I'm actually out and enjoying life itself. So again, for you folks that are, new to my channel, please, I would ask if you could subscribe. I'm looking for input from others. I'm looking for comments. I'm looking for feedback. I'm always looking for good practices and areas of potentially you can drive or hike or camp and get-togethers. Again, this is for the 50 plus crew. So for the young guys, you're going to have your own channels, and I'm sure social media will be loaded with plenty of places for you. But for us here in the 50 plus crew, I'd like to just say, hey, please drop me a comment, give me some insight on what you have in regards to places we could travel, and of course any practice tips or driving tips. Again, it's been a little while since I've been on one of these, and it's always good to have some insight from somebody who's got more experience than I do, and I'm always willing to learn. So please enjoy some of the channel. Again, this is St. Kierns from Famous Reading Outdoors, and I will have the next track coming up right now. You will see some of my tips in regards to the things that you should be careful of and what not to do. Anyway, Outdoor Tiger is about the 50 plus crew enjoying life to its fullest. Live boldly and live full. Again, Bernie Tiger, your host. I thank you for watching this. Please subscribe, and I look forward to your feedback and comments. So one of the parts of the journey is encompassing the famous mud pits. This particular one seemed lengthy, and I thought, well, it can't be too bad if I stay on the edges. It might be deep in the middle. I don't have any waders on, and I'm not about to go exploring with my boots and sinking down. And I certainly don't have a snorkel for my ATV, so I'm not going underwater. So I see another creek. This one's been overflowed, but I could see the bottom. I'm thinking this shouldn't be a problem at all. We can go through this pretty easily. Well, that was a little wrong on that because it was a bit deeper than anticipated. Little steam back off the end of the muffler, and we're on our way. Good news is that the Polaris XP1000 Premium can really pull through almost anything. I have yet to encompass a problem with it. Knock on wood. On a return trip, I'm looking at this small little crossway thinking this won't be too bad. Problem is you don't know how deep that sandbar is. Get through the water and realize that sinks a little bit, not too bad. Once again, the Polaris gets me out of there fairly quickly. No issue, and I just thought to myself, damn, got through that pretty safely. So, on the earlier trek of my trip, I encompassed a couple of mud pits and realized, well, these are a little bit long, but they don't seem too bad. This particular one really wasn't so bad. Stay to the edges again. If I just stay to the left or right, I should be okay, because I can certainly at least get some ground. Thinking I could do the same thing with this one, but I was a little bit wrong because guess what? That thing was pretty deep. And I got myself a little bit of trouble quite deep in there. And of course my left boot and left shin and everything is completely saturated in mud. So on the return trip after 4 hours of riding, I'm thinking I'll give this a shot, just let it sit in this one other little creek that's on the way back. And just kind of let it sit in the water, maybe drain off some of that clay on the tires and underneath the carriage. Figure give it a little bit of a half a wash before I get back home. And it seemed to work pretty good because I could see all the clay coming off the vehicle. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to need to figure out where the hell I'm at. So once again, I get to the MapPix application for the Android and I can take a quick look at where I'm at. It's fairly accurate. Problem is that the trail maps are pretty generalized, so you're not specifically on it, but it gives you a close generalization of where you are. I also use the Polaris app to track myself, though it doesn't have the map sequence that will fit the famous Reading Outdoors trails. At least it gives me some idea of where my home base is. So I think I'm on the right direction, heading back, heading on the right trail. It looks familiar. Then I realize, hey, I remember these puddles. These are the mud pits I went through earlier. Well, I'm thinking, hey, you know what? That was almost 4 hours ago. Maybe we've had a little bit of seepage. Maybe they're not so bad. This time I'll stay on the other side of this one puddle. And I realized actually that wasn't so bad, but it was actually a little deeper than the previous side that I was on. I know the other one was definitely deep on the right side, so I'm thinking I'll just stay on the left-hand side. I can't go wrong with this. Get on the right side, easily shoves me over. And once again, yep, we get ourselves a little bit stuck. Little gas, little throttle-ish kind of action getting us going, and the Polaris 1000 XP pulls me through once again. But this time I'm soaked with mud. Kind of give myself a quick damn. Going, well, all right, that didn't work out as well as I thought. So I think I'll avoid all puddles as best as possible. You know, the cautionary tale here is you never know what you're going to get when you pull up to a mud pit or even a large puddle. When you're driving an ATV, you think you can get through pretty much anything, and for the most part you can. Just be cautioned because sometimes you can't.